before I go further, let me just start with the cooking. What I'm gonna do is now, let me just start with the bulgur. I'm going to cook the bulgur. I've already done the sauce. Now I'm gonna cook the bulgur and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So that's my salmon here, a part of it. I've divided it into two because it's not gonna fit into my baking tray. Mark the salmon to the sizes that I want, like this. So after I've done that, I'm gonna sprinkle salt on it, just a little bit because I'm gonna season it. Next, I'm going to prepare my seasoning, and for my seasoning I'm going to use fresh garlic with black pepper, but it's like pepper mix, whole pepper mix. That's what I'm gonna use, with alcreda and lemon, with a little bit of mustard, a bit like this, not too much. 1 teaspoon alcreda. So now my water has started boiling, and now I'm going to add in salt for the Bulgar wheat, which is called bulgur in Swedish. Good. We now leave it to cook. I'm not going to add in oil or anything because I've already cooked my gravy that I'm gonna mix it with, so I don't need anything like oil or anything. It's just a little bit of salt I added in, and then later I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Now by the time waiting for the bulgur to cook, I'm gonna grind my pepper mix and my alcreda together. Just a groove grinding I'm gonna do. I want it to be like rough. The seasoning that I'm doing for the salmon fish is a very good seasoning. It tastes so good on salmon. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to chop my garlic and then add into it. And then we grind it again. So this is how it looks. Now I'm gonna add in a little bit of paprika just to give it a color, and then add in my mustard. This is Justina's special. It's my own recipe for my salmon, and it tastes so good, I'm telling you. Just try it if you feel like, and then you will comment down below and tell me how good and delicious it's gonna be. So that's it. As you can see, the bulgur is now done. I'm going to strain all the water out and then leave it to get cold before I add in my sauce. Leave it there to drain. I don't want any water inside the bulgur. And then when it gets cold, we're gonna mix it together with the sauce that I made for it. So just put it aside. I've already strained my Bulgar with my bulgur. I'm going to cook my pasta, and by the time I'm waiting for the water to boil, I'm just going to season my salmon fish. I've already seasoned it with salt before, just a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna drizzle in a little bit of lemon, and then take my seasoning and then just put it inside in the middle of the slices like this. Stuff in as much as you feel like, and then just rub a little bit on top. I've already preheated my oven to 175. Now I'm gonna rub a little bit of butter on the pot before putting the fish, the salmon onto it, and then just give it a brush. Butter is to protect the fish not to stick on the foil, because the salmon has its oil already. Put it into my, like this, other part, this side. Water is now boiling. Just a bit of salt, because I've already cooked the sauce and it's already with all the seasoning, so too much of salt won't do it good. So I'm gonna add in my pasta. For the sauce that I made before is for the pasta and the Bulgar wheat. I have my celery here that I'm going to add into my salmon fish. So we just put it somewhere around, and then I have my slices of lemon on top. You can use any pasta to your choice. Sometimes I use the multicolor pasta, but this time around I'm going to just use the plain one. So, and then before I put the salmon into the oven, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of oil on top so that it won't be dry. With a little bit of garlic powder. We're now gonna put it into the oven just for about 30 minutes into the middle rack in 175 degrees. My pasta. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain all the water from the pasta. And then just rinse it for all the starch to get off. Wash away all the starch. And leave the water just to drain. We put it aside. So I'm now cooking my potatoes. When it starts cooking, I will time it for 20 minutes. I've already added salt in it. So I've already chopped my mushrooms. I'm going to add in mushrooms too into the pasta, just into the pasta. So let me just check the salmon fish and see how it's going. Wow. So now I'm going to drizzle a little bit of lemon on top so that it won't get dry on top. Again. We're gonna spray in a little bit of oil. And then we add in our mushrooms. It's gonna taste so good with the pasta. Try it and then you get back to me as usual. The mushrooms is now done and this is how it looks. Checking on my salmon, my lax, and then see how it looks. Wow, it's already done. As you can see, the salmon is now done. So I'm just gonna put it inside again just for 5 minutes with high temperature just for it to get brown, and then we'll take it out. I've already peeled my potatoes and cut them to the sizes I want. I don't want them to be very big, I don't want them to be very small. So I'm gonna fry them into the butter and then add in my oregano with my garlic powder later on. So as you can see, my potatoes are now golden brown. So I'm just going to add in my oregano and my garlic powder. First I'm going to add in the garlic powder. This is a really awesome recipe, so try it. As you can see, there is no oil in it. And then now I'm going to sprinkle in my oregano, and that's what brings out the flavor. It smells so good. So now guys, everything is done, everything is set. Now I'm gonna mix the gravy into the bulgur wheat and the pasta, and then I'll serve my salmon fish. So this is the bulgur wheat and this is the gravy that I made for it. It is the one I started with. I'm going to be adding a little bit first. Mixed it up. You're gonna mix it up first and see how it make sure you mix it properly. If you like, you can serve it hot or you can serve it cold. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. But before I mix the pasta, I'm going to add in my mushrooms. Adding the mushrooms into the pasta. And then here I have my dried tomato in oil with my Kalamata olive and pickled onions with caprese. So I'm going to add them into the pasta too. You can add sweet corn too if you feel like, to your choice. And then we add in a tomato sauce. And then give it a mix. And then now we're going to serve our salmon fish. Today is gonna be salmon fish. It's gonna be lax. So look at that. It looks so good. So now I'm just gonna do like this. So we added a little bit of pasta. A little bit of everything. And then we take our bulgur, we add it on this side. Roasted potatoes, and then now it's our salad here on the side, and then with your lime to garnish, and that here on the side. So this is my lunch for today. So you're all welcome. So take care of yourself. I love you all. Bye. See you next week.